What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Codex Station's Comic Character of the Week. This is the one. This is the show that you never want to miss because it's the deep dive into that one character, giving you all the good and plenty on that character and so much more. I'm your host, Sal the Slab Guy, coming to you from the Slavatorium itself. Down below is the Ric Flair Comics himself,
Woo!
and of course, right over next to me is the Master Builder, J Dub. How you guys doing?
Doing
We're doing all right.
fantastic.
Doing
Last
all
day,
right.
last day of July. My summer's dwindling.
Yeah.
Big crocodile tears are happening for me almost.
When does your schedule start back up, Gary?
Well, next week is my last full week off until Christmas, which makes me very sad. I have the week after next. I have 3 days. I've got our in-service meeting where all the transportation people we meet and have meetings all day.
Right.
Then Tuesday, I'm getting a brand new bus, a propane bus. So I've got to be trained for that. So I have an additional day everybody else doesn't have. And then the day following that, I have a dry run where we run the routes,
Mm-hmm.
with, no kids, just we run the routes and do that. And then then I'll have Thursday and Friday that week off. And the next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. And I believe first day of school, I want to say is the 20th. So
that sounds right.
Ours is the 18th.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll start on a Thursday officially, which is good because then I can do 2 days and have a weekend, and then the next week is a 4-day because the holiday. Hey,
Hi,
Richard.
Richard.
Hey, Richard, what's going on, buddy?
Because nowadays they give us Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off for Labor Day.
Oh, okay.
So we get the Friday and the Monday, get a 4-day weekend. So they've been doing that lately.
Yeah,
That's
it's our last day of summer hours, so we're back to
Yep.
full strength today on a Friday.
Keith.
Hey, Mr. Keith.
How's it going, buddy? All right, very good.
Ooh, I get to be
Very good.
Dan again today. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you get to run the chat. You want to run the chat?
Yeah, I want to be Dan.
Okay, be Dan.
I'm
There
gonna
you
be
go.
Dan.
Do some push-ups, baby.
Yeah. When you introduce everybody again, introduce me as Dan too.
Okay.
I'll do
I'll
Dan.
say. Next to me is J Dub, aka Dan Kelly Art.
Yes. Yes, I am happy with that because I got the Dan thing down now.
All right.
Every
very
time he
good.
watches an episode, he's not there for. He's always like, "Jesus, man." He goes to
All right, then I'll run the buttons for you when you're Dan Kelly Art. Okay.
Okay, awesome. I got chat.
All right. Very cool. Very cool.
Unless Chris jumps in, then I don't know what's gonna happen.
Oh, I guess I need to text.
Thanks, Chris.
Text it. Because
get
I
him on
don't think
there.
he's up to the new schedule, the 8:30 schedule. Let me
Well,
text.
I figured it's for him too. It's for his bedtime.
Yeah.
Gets a little
Look,
bit extra.
the mad science, the 3D printer's up and working again. The
I
mad
know.
science is making people as we speak, I'm sure.
Yeah. Hey, Liz popped on the podcast last night for a little bit. So
I saw Liz yesterday, told her we had talked about her and said good news, and I was surprised to see her at the shop, but she was looking great, feeling good. So, yeah. So
yeah, that's good stuff. Glad she's doing better.
Uncle Gary, you're killing me with that Silver Age boarding and bagging deal. Oh my God, I've done like 4 or 5 boxes already.
wow.
Nice.
So you're using the Silver Age bags and boards, and you're putting one in the front and one in the back.
Yeah, up until I know I completed the series, then I'll do that as a series itself,
Yeah.
and then
So-
keep going.
Check it out. I got this book from Heroes Corner, but he also included the clear backboard.
Oh, nice. That
Yeah,
clear
I
backboard's awesome, isn't it?
It is.
I seen that when we were at Baltimore, and that's why I brought it up because Uncle Gary was you had those compact books, and you want to put 2 in the silver.
Yeah.
And I was like, why don't you just get the clear boards? And you're like, they make those? I was like, yeah, they were all over at Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, well, I have to say they're awesome.
Well, I sometimes I'm hesitant to try new things. Mike gave me 10 of them, so that made me try them, and they're pretty cool. So next time he orders a batch, I'm gonna get some. I'll have him order me some too. All right, I got derailed. We're talking. Where's Chris? Chris. We are live. We
Or live.
and football started tonight.
Oh yeah, preseason, right?
It's the
Hall
Hall
of
of Fame
Fame
game, isn't
game.
it?
It kicked off. Yep.
Hey, Adam, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad idea for those, especially if it's a wraparound cover.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only reason.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, some people want to showcase. Maybe if they have like, I don't know, like what Uncle Gary's got, like every X-Men, like you can showcase, the good ones all the way around. But those wraparound covers, that comes in handy for those.
Well,
Oh yeah.
well, that's the only reason I would have them is for the wraparound. I won't use them on anything that's not wraparound.
You like it when it wraps around.
I like a reach around.
Tell me, what's your Unbroken run again? What was that Unbroken run again?
Of which series?
X-Men.
X-Men. Let me check CLZ.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, start from 1.
It starts from 0. Stop it.
Oh, there is a 0.
There is a 0.
0 on
yeah,
there.
let me check CLZ. Oh yeah, 0.
It's 0. Starts from 1.
Yeah, we can't talk to these sports until Pam gets here.
Yeah, I know. I know she'd be thrilled that I think I saw something last week that said last week's Thursday was the last Thursday from now until January where there won't be football on.
Yeah.
There you go. You see Backstrom signed with his Swedish team.
I did.
He's playing, so I'm happy for him.
I am too. I hope he can get some joy out of
Yep.
I was looking. I was digging through some old boxes and cleaning out the back room a little bit, and I came through a comic. I did a couple comics I didn't realize I had, part of the Marvel Super Special series.
Oh,
Indiana Jones
nice.
magazine comic. So I didn't realize I had it. And the Star Wars Return of the Jedi magazine.
Nice.
So it's kind of neat. Number 27 of Marvel Super Special, and the other's number 30. So it's kind of neat.
Uncle Gary's finding stuff he didn't even know he had.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, got some else.
Oh.
A Lady Death.
It's like Christmas in July.
A Lady Death with a Megadeth CD.
Ooh.
Nice.
So Megadeth, cryptic writings in stores, and then a Lady Death. So I guess it's like a little limited edition CD that maybe has 1 or 2 songs on it. I don't know. So never opened. So
Those are all good Megadeth, man.
You guys probably never seen it, but I like that.
Glow in the dark.
I actually like that cover. I really do.
You like what?
I like that blue cover.
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck series.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Had an episode with Megadeth, and he renamed them Megaduck.
Oh, let's see. What else did I find? Oh shit. Little Lady Rawhide, and Vampirella little wizard inserts.
Nice.
Yep. And some First Comics stickers.
Okay.
This is in the early 80s. A Superman Spectacular comic that magazine sized. And I found, I showed on the showcase one day all these Amazing World of DC comics that I had.
Yeah.
And I had another Golden Age one, so Mr. Schwartzlander might have to get this one.
Right.
With the Justice Society and all that in there. So that may go to old Schwartz. So
Schwartz.
Schwartz be with you.
Okay. Schwartz be with you.
Schwartz be with you.
Be careful what you wish for. Yeah. What is it? Talk of the devil, and he may appear.
He may appear.
He may appear.
He may appear.
Do you want to get some business out of the way before we kick off the show?
Speak of the devil. Speak of the devil.
Yeah, speaking of the devil, he shall appear. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get some business out of the way. You know me, I'm the host tonight, Sal the Slab Guy, coming to you from the Slabatorium, where it's a cool, crisp 39 degrees, mind you. But you can always find me on YouTube under Sal's Comic Corner or Instagram as the Slab Guy 77. And this guy down below, not only is he the Ric Flair of comics, he's the preacher of the lore. He's the curator of the library of comics.
Yes.
That is Uncle Gary.
Thank you. If you want to catch me live and in person, come to Comic Logic. We are Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic book store. Please come see us if you're in the Northern Virginia area. We would love to make your acquaintance. Mm-hmm. On Wednesdays, you can catch me. You can catch Mighty Mike Harbour. Catch Rob Kalin slinging the new books. We're getting that 4-color ink injected, baby. Injected right in here. Make you strong. Told you once, told you twice, told you every damn time. You start off with the one comic, then you get addicted. It's a stack. Then it's a short box, then it's a long box, and then you're stacking them all the way to the ceiling. Then you're moving them over here, moving them over there. Next thing you know, you are jacked and you are packed, baby. Also, do some push-ups. They help.
That's right.
Come see us, Comic Logic. Also, pay some attention must be paid to the comic character of the day site started by Archduke Kevy. Dan Kelly has been at the helm of that for a while, but since he is on a nautical adventure right now, Mr. Sal there from the Slavatorium is your captain, and he is your program director, and he is running the ship. He is steering the ship into open seas, not into an iceberg, just into open seas. And
full throttle, baby.
Full throttle. He's giving you the pictures of the day. Our good buddy Talking Geek is putting up the covers of the day. So between them, they have got it covered. Great question of the day, great random panels of the day. So it's the site that introduced us all, where we became acquainted. So for good or for ill, it's their fault. So there you go. And this triumvirate couldn't be complete without the man that laid the foundation for this very, very section. I love that he's got the high evolutionary on there. That's what he is. He is our master builder, our geneticist that built this station. He had the idea, and he decided that it wasn't his cranial capacity just didn't have the storage capacity he needed to get that information out. So he had to expand it. He had to build this station. He had to build this edifice to your education in comic lore. And it is now pulsating throughout, not just our land, throughout the globe with comic knowledge each and every day. And it wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for the vision that the high evolutionary had, the master builder himself, J-Dub.
Right there. But before you introduce yourself, J-Dub,
you
gotta introduce Dan Kelly.
My alter ego. Give me 1 second. Give me one second.
Up. He's channeling his Dan.
He's channeling the Dan.
Dan, the Kelly man. Oh, look, there we go. Look at that. Oh my God. Wow.
Dan, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you at? There's no voice. You killed your voice.
Sal, I think they pretty much know at this point where they can find me. I'm over on Instagram, Dan Kelly Art. Post a song. Cover, sketch covers. Buy my stuff. So your money, go my money, and I can buy more comics. Trying to hit, that 1,000 mark. I think I'm at negative 4,562 right now.
But that fluctuates.
Yeah, but that fluctuates. So go do that and have fun.
All right, Dan, why don't you introduce J-Dub then?
It's kind of hard for me to do that at the moment. give me a minute. I'll get J-Dub back.
All right, very good.
Again, no kink shaming here.
None.
So if if Dan, if Dan is J-Dub's alter ego, that's his business. And
so be it.
What he does in his own time, who he impersonates is his business. We will not keep saying.
All right. You know where you can find us. Thank you for that, Dan, by the way.
Jesus Christ.
You can find us at thecodexstation.com. Sure, one-stop shop for everything Codex. Get some merch, meet team list, know what you like and don't like, and find us on all of the
all those socials that obviously Jamie is suffering from right now. So we have all the socials. We're infected with them, and you know what? It's great that we have them, but it would even be better if we could give them to you.
That's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Click that like, share, and subscribe. Follow us and get those socials infected with yourself. Come on.
I like being Dan. I feel like I don't care as much.
Richard asked when the giveaway is. Do you want to talk about that really quick?
Yes, we can talk about that. So I will be giving the drawing tomorrow, and then the announcement will be made on Saturday during Comics Unleashed.
Ooh.
Very cool.
Ooh.
Awesome. Are you guys ready to kick off this show then?
Yes.
Let's do this.
I got a nice non-copyright,
You
intro.
say that, but I'm tired of fighting them, man. I had to send Sal at 5 o'clock in the morning. Dude, I just had to dispute another one.
Another one. Yeah, I know. And that was for the thing, I think we did.
Who's got the time to sit there and look at every damn thing on YouTube and figure out whether it's a violation or not?
I don't know.
The people who pay YouTube.
I know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stick around for 1 minute and enjoy this intro.
I do not pass judgment. I show the path. It is up to others to walk it. When the world turns dark and answers are few, I will be there, always.
Somebody's watching you.
Somebody's watching you.
I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Stranger danger.
Stranger danger.
Stranger
In this case,
danger.
yeah, stranger is there, but he's not danger.
Stranger danger.
Anyhow, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Codex Station. This guy walks between shadows, speaks when no one listens, and even sees the truth when the world turns away. You won't find him as a regular member of the Justice League. You won't catch him trading punches with Darkseid. But when the balance of good and evil tips too far, he appears. Is he a fallen angel, a cursed soul, a lost time wanderer? Doesn't matter. He's the one you call when things start to blur. Today on Codex, we're diving into one of DC's most mysterious, most powerful, and underrated figures, the Phantom Stranger. So let's get ready for the unknown.
There you go.
Gary, why don't you kick us off and give us the intro on this guy?
All right. Phantom Stranger.
Yes, Richard, that was me.
There you go. This is a character whose origin has not been clearly for sure defined. It's been hinted at. It's been retconned. So I think I would say he's got to pick. I think he's got to choose your origin kind of story to him. So you pick the one that you like the best.
Almost like make your own adventure.
Yeah, make your own adventure is what it is. Make your own origin form. But what I can tell you for sure is he first appeared in 1952 in Phantom Stranger #1. There was a 6-issue series that DC launched in 1952, and it ran 6 issues. I have #5, which I'm very proud to have, and one day I do hope to have the other 5 issues to make up all 6 of them. But it was interesting when he was first, and I've reread all these. This weekend leading up to this, when he was first introduced, he was more of a debunker of supernatural threats, and he solved a lot of things with his fist. He was punching people out and debunking people that were trying to, blame things on mystic occults and things like that. And there were a few episodes in that original series. The only times it deviated was there were creatures from another dimension coming over, and then there was something that was alien in origin. But anything else that had to do with ghosts or paranormal or things like that, it was debunked, and he figured out who was pulling the wool over whose eyes. So that was kind of interesting. Frauds were being committed, and so that ran in 1952, 6 issues, done. You don't hear any more of him. He's not mentioned. And then in 1969, in Showcase number 80, they relaunched him, and they had a story that was kind of a framing sequence of some of his old tales, where they had a new story around framing sequences of his old tales. They updated his look a little bit, not to this level yet, but they updated it a little bit, and had this great Neil Adams cover. And it was only in Showcase back then, usually a new series would get a tryout of a few issues. He only had 1 issue, but then he started, I think that was in February, and then a few months later, Phantom Stranger 1 came out. And Phantom Stranger 1, 2, and 3 were basically reprint issues of this 50s series with framing sequences that that bound them together. And they used also stories from Dr. 13, Terrence 13, who was a debunker of supernatural phenomenon. And he was in the last few issues of Star Spangled Comics, like the last 13 of that, when it petered out in the 50s. They had turned that to kind of like a horror magazine, and he was debunking supernatural threats too. So he came to the Phantom Stranger's book, and the Phantom Stranger became less of a debunker and more of a mystical figure himself. And Dr. 13 became the debunker that thought that that the Phantom Stranger was a charlatan, and just a fake magician himself. So they had a conflict that ran for a while. And then about the 14th issue of that book, and they even had 4 meddlesome kids like the Scooby Gang that was involved in a few of the issues, and it just really wasn't good. But about the 14th issue or so, Len Wein, I think Jerry Conway and then Len Wein took over, and they got rid of Dr. 13, and they had the Phantom Stranger, be somebody who would appear when needed, and he was definitely mystical. In the old original series, the only thing he did that was mystical was he would vanish. Or he would appear. He would appear or vanish pretty much out of nowhere. But everything else, he was a normal guy, like I said, solving things with his fists. And in the 14th, by the time Len Wein took over, the stories really improved. And of course, the art improved with Jim Aparo. And that's where we got the look. Actually, Neil Adams kind of gave him the new look on some of the cover designs and all before then. But everything really came together about the 14th issue of the Phantom Strangers magazine. Now, he never revealed his name. I know in some subsequent runs of the Phantom Stranger, at one point they say maybe his name was Philip Stark. I don't know about that. At some point there was an origin that maybe he was a fallen angel that did not take a side in the war between heaven and hell, and because of that he was sentenced to wander the earth until he had redeemed himself. And in
52 retcon,
and in New 52 retcon with issue 0, they had it where perhaps he was Judas Iscariot, and that his penance for betraying, right as he's going to, hang himself, he is saved from that, and his penance is to wander the earth, helping souls in need. And that necklace he wears is the 30 pieces of silver, and he's got to be able to shed them or earn them back to atone for betraying Christ. I kind of like that origin. I think that's kind of neat.
That's like I said, that's what got me into the character. So
so that's the origin I think I choose. I think it's kind of neat that I like him as that instead of, but a fallen angel's not bad either. But I like him as being Judas, and the former Judas Iscariot, and that he's been given these mystical powers, and he is quite powerful now. He is, he's he's kind of like, in a way, he's kind of DC's version of the Watcher, except he helps a little more. He helps a little more, but he's always there. He's always cryptic. He is a pain in the ass because he does not give you the full story. He gives you snippets, puts you in the right direction, and you're like, come on, dude, help us out a little bit. But I think it's great how they've kept his origins shrouded in mystery, and because there have been the attempts to give him an origin, because there's so many, I think that's a cool mystery to the character. Again, you pick the one that suits you best, and you're like that. It's kind of like Heath Ledger as a Joker. You know how I got these scars? You get a
different story every time.
Yeah, a different story every time. So I really like that with the character. I think he is so cool. I think the costume design is fantastic. This costume design, and the original where he was just a dark suit and the hat and all was pretty cool too. And the name Phantom Stranger is a pretty badass name. I think that is a great name. So the character, the characters had several different incarnations of his book. Like you said, Jamie, his first one went 6 issues. The second one went 41 issues, and then there was a one shot that tied into Blackest Night, so it kind of had 42nd issue many years later. There was a mini series, and then I believe volume 4 is what you became acquainted with, which was like 0 to 22, and they had the Trinity of Sin with him, Pandora, and the Question, which was really interesting to have the 3 tied into there. But he is mystically, his power, he's not quite the Spectre. and he's not as combative as Dr. Fate maybe battling the dark forces, but he is definitely, I think he's definitely on Dr. Fate's level for power, if not probably a little more, maybe a little more than Fate. And he's a force for good. He's just pain in the butt, you know, he's a pain in the butt. And I really I really love this character, and I love how he interacts, and it's just been shrouded in mystery as well he should be.
Yep. Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and jump to our first segment of the night, what works best for him. And I think, Gary, you just kind of explained what works best for him right there, you know. But let's J-Dub, why don't you go first on this one and say what works best for you?
Right. So I think what works best for him is him as a symbol, not a man. When you don't explain too much of him, his strength is more of being from like the unknowable, whether, you know, like Uncle Gary said earlier, whether he's a cursed man, fallen angel, or just a wanderer, you don't pin him down. But, you know, the reader or the heroes for that matter just kind of wonder, like, that part of the myth of Phantom Stranger.
Okay. For me, I have to agree with that. My first note is mystery above all. He's mysterious. You don't know where he's come from or what he's doing, and more importantly, how he's doing it. Sometimes he goes around so cryptically, you know. Sometimes you don't know, how he's doing it. He's got that moral ambiguity type situation going. I like that. It's tied to the occult, like Gary said, and the supernatural. Now, you know, he's not just punching people out. He's actually knee deep in supernatural stuff. So I think that's what really works best with him. I also think when he is a loner, I think he works best alone. I seen him on teams, and that was good, but he works best when he's by himself. So, Gary, do you have anything else you want to add to what you like?
Yeah, I think he works best when he's by himself, or when he presents himself to a team like Justice League Dark or the Justice League and says, "Here's something you need to take care of."
There you go.
This is what you're doing wrong.
Take care of this, you know. And he when he shows up, he doesn't show up for no reason.
Right.
When he shows up, it's about
he's kind of like the Spectre in that matter. When he shows up, there's a problem.
Yeah, it's about to hit the fan. And I really love him when he is interacting with the Spectre and with Dr. Fate and, you know, these other Zatanna, these other mystical DC.
Dead Man.
Xanadu. Yeah, Dead Man. Him and Dead Man for a while in the 70s could not stand each other.
They still can.
So, yeah, so that's always great. And Xanadu, Madame Xanadu, is not happy with him because when she was Nemu back in Arthurian times, he felt that she felt he betrayed her, and she lost a lot of her mystical powers. So Xanadu is not a fan of him. So I just love it when he interacts with DC's other magical, heroes.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into badass moments. I will go ahead and kick this one off then for badass moments. Richard, he said,
I got it.
You got it? Scooby-Doo story is more complex.
Richard, when I talk about things we don't like, there is a really big Scooby-Doo link to this.
Big Scooby-Doo moment. Okay. So for my first badass moment, it's almost like a generalization. He walks away like a legend. When everything is done, literally any ending panel with him, he's just kind of just like, okay, here we go. I'm disappearing. You know?
I just like to say something. I'm disappearing.
I'm just disappearing. You know, it's like, poof, he's gone.
See me?
Yeah. If I stand still, I'm invisible. No, I mean, I just like how he just kind of goes into the mist, or he just walks away. You got the silhouette just kind of fading off.
It's the ending credits of the Incredible Hulk.
Also, that too.
I think there was a Batman he interacts with Batman, and he vanishes. He goes, so that's what that feels like.
That's what that feels like. Yep. So my next badass moment comes from Teen Titans Volume 3, number 31, where he's fighting against Trigon, and he actually manipulates a mystical balance so Trigon cannot unleash his full power, which it says which gains the tactical advantage for the team. And it's not, it's not a punching moment. It's not a blasting moment. It's like a chess master moment. He manipulated everything.
That's what he is. That's a great chess master. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, because I don't feel like he's always like 3, 4, 5 moves ahead of even hell itself. So that was a badass moment for me. My next one is what's that?
I like it.
Oh, thank you. My last one is Eclipso, The Darkness Within. Came out in 92, I believe. Yeah, 92. Check my notes. Eclipso is this powerful, embodiment of vengeance and corruption. He leads a team of mystics and uses his knowledge of cosmic order to help bind Eclipso within the heart of darkness. And it sounds like a generic thing, but that is pretty badass right there in itself. He's one of the few key characters that understands how to trap cosmic entities or cosmic evils without brute force, and that's what I love. So those are my 3. But Gary, what's your 3?
Okay, so I'm going to start off with one that is it's really a small moment from the first iteration of him in the 50s. Mm-hmm. And I guess I'm a little bit biased toward this because I have this issue. But it's an amusement park, and on the amusement park, he's on this roller coaster with the owners of the park who they've had, sabotage has happened to this park. He's trying to drive them out of business. Right. And the roller coaster is going down. A section of the track is missing. So there's a section of the track is missing. So this is a more human-based how he reacts to things, even though he vanishes and appears. Right. But he solves things with his fist. He takes off his coat, his overcoat, and he gets it under the wheels of the roller coaster car, and it stops it right before the thing. It tangles it up and just stops. It was just kind of dumb. I thought it was funny. I thought it was just interesting that he uses his cloak, to do that and stop the hurtling roller coaster because he got caught up with it right before the chasm. So I just thought that was kind of badass that he knew to do that. In Phantom Stranger number 15, volume 1. So this is Len Wein has written this, and this after he takes over. It's set in Africa, and there's a man who is returning to his African roots. His father was a chieftain and had died, and he's returning back to Africa. And there's a scene where a lion is attacking this guy, and he's, he doesn't have any weapons. He's in trouble. He's defenseless. And the Phantom Stranger, who's come to his rescue, leaps out, grabs the lion, and gets his cloak around him, and the lion vanishes. So here's this great lion pouncing on this guy who we need for our story. And the stranger intercepts the lion, wraps him in the cloak, and then poof, presto, he's gone. The lion is just gone. Don't know where he went. No mention's ever made where he went. He's just gone. So he was Cloak before Cloak and Dagger, right? Yeah. Where things disappear into the cape, and that's what happened. So that was pretty badass.
If only Siegfried and Roy had that capability.
Yeah, absolutely. And drawn by a Poro. It was pretty cool. So it was really cool.
Nice.
The other one I think is just great. And this story, you'll see this story referenced in my must-reads. In JLA 103, Len Wein, who was writing the regular Phantom Stranger series, was also writing JLA. And this one, he has saved the JLA. He has saved their lives. And JLA, at first he first appears to him on the satellite. He doesn't teleport in. He's just there, right? Which is pretty badass in itself, right?
Right.
He's just there. Green Arrow's giving him crap, and Batman says, "Wait a minute, I know this guy. I know this character," and because they had Brave and the Bold appearances, and they listen to the Stranger. They go to Rutland, Vermont, which, I'll talk about that later in the Halloween legacy they had there. But anyway, at the end of the adventure, the JLA was like, "Hey, one of us," and they're voting him into the JLA. And as they turn to tell him that he is a member, he's gone. He's gone. You're about to be. They're talking about putting you into the preeminent super team,
And you're
man, you don't even stay around. You don't need to know. You don't need that validation. I'm a stranger. I'm gone.
I'm
And,
gone. No.
and then subsequently, he would appear at times, and then he's even say, "Hey, y'all made me a member." But he didn't even hang around to accept the honor. He was just in the wind. So I just think that's pretty badass. That here you've been, you're being accepted into the top tier team that there is, and you don't even hang around to accept it. You're gone.
That's crazy. Gone. That's crazy.
Gone. Yeah, that's some gravitas there.
Indeed. All right, Jamie, how about you?
All right, so for my first one, I've got Standing Up to the Spectre from Day of Vengeance, #2 from 2005.
Yep. I figured you would have that one.
Well, that's not the only. He does that a lot, but you're right.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
He does. The Spectre in full-blown wrath mode is on a cosmic cleansing spree, wiping out all magic. The stranger boldly steps in, knowing full well he cannot match the Spectre's power, but he doesn't even flinch. And I got a quote from there where he says, "You would destroy what you do not understand." And with that, even as the Spectre strips him of his powers, the stranger still tries to reason with him, showing him his like badassery and a different power level. #2, I've got Refusing Heaven and Hell, The Phantom Stranger, Volume 2, #42. This to me is like an underrated just read as itself, but both angels and demons offer him a way out to finally stop walking the earth and claim reward or punishment. But the stranger refuses both of them, choosing to continue his eternal penance. And another quote I got from this, it goes, "I shall walk the earth until the final truth is revealed." And then for my last one, I'm kind of going with a MacGuffin here and going with every iteration of him and Dead Man's banner. Because my favorite line, even from like, because I looked up more with him and Dead Man, but it all is the same, is where Dead Man literally goes inside of him and Phantom Stranger's like, "Can you get out of me? I don't like you inside me." And Dead Man's like, "How do you think I feel in here?" He's like, "Get me out." Just back and just hatred towards each other. There was a scene, I think it was in issue 10 of New 52, where he just pops up in front of the Justice League Dark for no reason, and Deadman's like, "Really? This guy? Why is he here?" And Constantine's like, "We need him." And Deadman just looks at him and goes, "We really don't."
We really don't. That's great.
They're not friends.
They are not friends. They are not friends. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our next segment of what we don't like about this guy. And Gary, I'll let you kick off this one.
All right, so what I don't like is what was referred to earlier, the Scooby Gang. It was when they relaunched this character, and I was going to look up, the names of these. So not only you got Dr. 13 always busting his balls every time. "Oh, you're a charlatan. You're a fake, blah, blah." That got old with Dr. 13 in every issue. Mm-hmm. And then they separated them, the Phantom Stranger, when it became one of the 25-cent giant books in the early 70s there. Dr. 13 had his own story, and the Phantom Stranger had his own story. So they had them combined in there, and that was fine. But these kids, one was named Wild Rose, another was named Attila, another was named, what was it? Square, something like Square Kid or something like that, because he was a square. And then I can't remember what the other kid's name. But you had these 4 kids that were popping up in every adventure, and he was following them around all the time, which is not what the Phantom Stranger needs to be doing. Phantom Stranger's got bigger fish to fry than mess with the Scooby Gang here. So that was just that, and Dr. 13 was just bad. So it was nice that, like I said, about the 12th, 13th, 14th issue of that book, volume 2, that they really set him apart and told us all the Scooby-Doo stories. Absolutely. And have we gotten a comment from Booge yet tonight?
No, I haven't seen them on. I don't think
Booge,
he's on.
it is Booge's birthday. Happy birthday.
Oh yeah,
happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, the Scooby Gang, God, not good. not good at all. So I think that's my only criticism, and they rectified it, right? I mean, I like the beginning where he was pretty much just a dude that appears and vanishes, so much better than Scooby Gang version that followed these dumb kids around.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and again, Wild Rose, Attila, you know,
Square Kid.
stupid, stupid names.
I have to agree with that. All right, Jamie, how about you? What don't you like about him?
When he's used as like a punching bag or a background extra in this, because to me, like sometimes the writers just throw him in just to show like how powerful someone else is. For the most part, he'll show up, make his cryptic comments like he usually does, then he gets zapped out of the scene. To me, it's a waste. In wrestling terms, he's not a jobber, like by any means of the word.
Right.
He's supposed to unsettle even like the strongest characters, and when they just like wash him away, it's useless. Like the character is, like we said earlier, is probably one of the most powerful mystics that the DC universe has, and just to throw him in and be like, yeah, he got punched down. It doesn't show how stronger anyone is. You're just underutilizing the character at that point.
Yeah.
And like a lot of times, he's kind of a narrator too. He's kind of like Rod Serling, right? Popping up, you know, for the narration. But he does more than narrate. He does participate.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He got his trophy.
Yes, he does. he gets a trophy.
All right, cool. For me, I got to echo what you guys have said also, and what I would hope that they don't do is try to over-explain his origin. Keep it simple, keep it mysterious. Don't try to overdo it. You know, anytime that you ignore the religious or the mystical themes, that's a miss. I did peruse that early series, Gary, that you were talking about, where he was more of a debunker and punching guys out. That was fine, I think, for the story or for the time, but I like it better him as a mysticist or a magic user, for lack of a better word. So, I didn't like that. Not that I didn't like it. I prefer him as the other, as the mystic, cosmic type of guy. So, yeah. So don't over-explain his origin. Just keep it vague, keep it mysterious, and just let it go. That's how I feel. All right, so let's go ahead then and jump to top covers. And since Dan is not here, I will show his top covers first. Where is Dan? Dan. Here we go. Here's Dan's top covers. All right, he did the Phantom Stranger #1 from Future's End. There's a Dead Man book for you, Jamie. I think you got that one as well, I think.
Yep.
Number 41.
Jim McClure.
Yep. And then he's got looks like number 10, Phantom Stranger. Look at that with the shadow.
That's the cover to the omnibus I have. And I tell you what's interesting is I have every issue of Phantom Stranger, but I have not and that's Neil Adams' art, by the way. I had not read them all. And it's been great to do that for this project. And and the book is 1,200 pages and I'm halfway through it.
Wow.
So it's quite, but it's been really entertaining to read. And so usually I get those omnibuses and I just don't have time to read them. And I have a lot of the original issues, but this one I'm going to enjoy, and I'm going to finish it even after this episode is over, because I'm going to finish that omnibus and have read all the, the Phantom Strangers, and not just that series that went until 41, and then later, of course, 42 was added. But he had a backup series in Saga the Swamp Thing, and I forgot about those. So it'll be interesting to reread those. So those I would have read, because I would have read them when they came out. But and I'd read the latter half of the Phantom Stranger series, probably like after 32 or 33 on. I was buying those issues, so I would have. Those will be familiar when I get to them. But yeah, just great cover.
It is. I like the shadow from on the background of that,
and
the foreground with the hand.
And yeah, it was actually the hand someone else, of course, but in that series, it was hard to choose some of the covers because they are great covers, but Phantom Stranger is a shadow, and I think a lot of times you want to see more of him than that. And so it made me shut, like that cover was one that was very much on the short list, but I wanted you to see more of him than just the shadow.
Yep, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, that coat The coach stops roller coasters, Mr. Keith. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, Jamie. Since we briefly mentioned your cover, let's show your top covers. There you go.
Yep.
Same thing. Got Phantom Stranger number 41, the Pyro cover. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Just him and Deadman's interaction. I love it.
My favorite cover is probably 32, where Deadman's coming out of the crypt. But
Yeah.
that one, you only see part of the Phantom Stranger, and that may be a top 10 all-time cover for me. I just couldn't use it because there wasn't enough Stranger in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But next up from the Phantom Stranger New 52 series, this is the Trinity of Sin crossover. This is issue 20, but this Spectre and him cover is amazing. Awesome. If you've read the series, you understand with the hanging symbolism here.
Yeah.
But them both just fighting and Spectre basically like blowing away his Mystic Blast just looks amazing.
I love it.
Like, I don't feel a thing.
And then the last one I have is Phantom Stranger number 1.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much going on in this cover.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even explain it. Like, literally, with the kids staring at whatever's coming out of the moltenness, and Stranger's focusing on everything else going on around them.
Yep. That's a great cover.
Bill Draught did that cover, and that is more his original look, how he was.
Yeah.
It's basically a dark suit and a fedora. Yes, Richard, this was one of the hardest ones to pick the favorite covers, because Richard, if you look at that set, that volume 2, so many of him as a shadow, and the covers were so good, but like I said, I wanted you to see more of the character, and the one issue, let me be sure, when you look this up, Richard, I want to make sure you got the right one. I think I want to make sure it's 30 Phantom Stranger volume 2. I want to say it is 30. I'm going to put my glasses on.
While you're doing that,
it's 33. It's 33. Look up 33. That may be a top 10 cover of all time for me. And it's, the Stranger's a shadow on the wall, but it's mainly Deadman, and Deadman is pissed. And again, when you look at Aparo's art, look at the hands. You don't want to get hit with one of those hands, and the jaws. The guys have these big granite jaws on them that going to take can take a punch. But it's those hands. You do not want to get hit with the hands that Aparo draws.
Yep.
So, but love this series. Oh,
yep.
Man.
So for added measure, that Phantom Stranger number 1, Jamie, I got that one slabbed.
Nice. What grade?
I want to say it's a 5. I want to say it's a 5. I'll look that up. But while I'm doing that, Gary, here are your top covers.
All right, there we go. So I threw in one of the old ones there, and of course, since I own it, I guess I'm a little biased to it, and that's Phantom Stranger 5. And the really interesting, the book I own is one of the books from the gal from Vermont that owned every single DC comic. Her name's slipping me right now. Oh, Chris.
I can't think of it either.
Yeah, I can't think. It's Chris something. But anyway, Chris, she had every DC comic, and I have her Phantom Stranger 5. So that's kind of a Christine Farrell. Christine Farrell. So I have Christine Farrell's Phantom Stranger 5, and it's just a cool cover. I love the creature on there, and there's that car that's getting ready to go off the go off the tracks where it stopped. So I just love it. On the far right is the Phantom Stranger 42. It's technically volume 2, but it came out many, many years later during 2010 during the Blackest Night thing. Part of it, since Blackest Night dealt with Dead Lanterns, part of what they were doing was dead issues, dead series. So they added a 42nd issue to volume 1, which I thought was pretty cool. They did it to some other series, DC series too, but that is by Ardian Syaf and Vincente Cervantes. I'm sure I'm butchering the name, but I just love that with all the other, with the Black Lantern Spectre behind him and the Dead Man. And there's really cool. He actually did Dead Man a solid on that one. So, and Zatanna and Blue Devil. So a lot of Jamie's favorites in that too.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one in the center, that's just Jim Aparo greatness.
Yeah.
The dude, the witnesses to the execution and the guy being executed, and you see his shadow, see him hooked up to the electric chair and the hands as the electricity's coursing through him. And then you see the shadow, you see the Phantom Stranger and his shadow behind him and in judgment, and I just think that's, and I love the uncomfortable look on the witnesses' faces, right? Because when you execute somebody, you do have to have witnesses. And so that is just, man, Jim Aparo was a master. He is one of my all-time favorite artists, and I love the imagery of that cover.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. Now, I remember there was a badass moment with the Black Lantern tie-in with the Phantom Stranger, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. But he actually battled the Black Lanterns. Directly.
There was one point where the Black Hand couldn't do anything with him because he's neither alive nor dead.
Yeah,
is what Black Hand said. He can't be killed or resurrected.
Right.
So that again, it lends itself to that great mystery of what exactly is he.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
I love it.
All right, let's jump to my covers then.
All
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I did that Phantom Stranger from Volume 3, number 1. Mike Mignola.
Yep.
And Craig Russell and Mike Mignola were also on the cover as well. But I like that. It was pretty cool. You got the newspapers flying around, war, plague, famine, and it looks like the other one says riot as well. That's pretty awesome.
Talking Geek posted, I think, the cover of 4 with him from that series with him and Eclipso by Magnolia.
Yes.
That was a really good cover too.
Yep. So for my center one there, I had to throw in a shadow one.
Yep.
So that's Volume 2, number 17. Neil Adams' greatness.
Yep.
And the guy's running, looks like a possessed train. Looks like the train's possessed, got teeth and everything. But he's there on the wall, just kind of overlooking it, and that guy is just absolutely running for his life.
As you should.
As he should.
Well,
as he should.
And that file was very important. He was running with. He was protecting that file.
Oh, yeah.
So,
that's true.
That was a really good issue.
Yes, indeed. All right, so my last book there is number 17, also from Volume 2, where he's just holding the spirit of the girl there in front of the guy. He's holding the candle, and it was just another Neil Adams goodness.
Yep.
Gotta love it. Love it.
And that book there, 12, was when the series tilted into better stories and got rid of the kids. Mm-hmm. And I think 13 might have been in that one, but the series went on a really positive upswing after 12 or 12 and on.
12 and on. Yep. I agree. Yep. So I love that. You got the mystic fog going around him as well with the candle.
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice that the I guess the letterbox for him, I want to call it that. The DC Phantom Stranger is like in a bat symbol. It's also the same color, so it kind of pulls it in for that.
Yeah, the horror books, DC's horror books, all had the bat.
Right.
Which was really cool.
Right, and if you notice, no word balloons, no speech balloons. You just had the cover, and then you just had to make your implementations from that.
As we've discussed, the DC versus Marvel editorial, decisions on how they did things. I like the covers telling the whole story without the word balloons.
Yep. All right. So that takes care of the covers. Jamie, do you want to talk about the giveaway really quick before we jump on, or do we have something yet?
I could say that we are going to do, because I don't remember every single thing that Dan had.
That's right. He has the books for August, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a meta. Oh, you're talking about the new ones, not the old.
The new one, yeah.
Yeah.
For the new one, about July. Why don't you talk about July's then?
Oh yeah, the first appearance of Metamorpho.
Yep.
We have the Jim Calafiore sketch drawing.
Yep. Yes, and a Dan Kelly sketch card.
And Kelly sketch card. And then also was it the Superboy Prime?
Superboy Prime, first
Yep,
Superboy Prime.
That was the DC Comics Presents.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And we will be doing the drawing Friday and announcing the winner on Saturday for Comics Unleashed.
And a Brave and the Bold.
Oh yeah, Brave and the Bold.
Metamorpho.
Yeah, that one.
Yep.
So
which says great covers, guys. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate that. All right, so let's go ahead and jump then to essential readings. And let's see. Gary, you want to go first for essential readings?
Sure. Let's go first. Okay.
All right, let me hold on. Let me find you. There you are. Boom.
All right. There we go. So my essential readings is we're going to start off with let's see what we have. I'll go from the bottom up. The Phantom Stranger 0 through 22. That is volume 4, and a lot of those were by Dan Didio and Mark DeMatteis were the writers on a lot of that. They had different artists. For a lot of it, it was Saif and Cifuentes, but just really great stuff. The 0 issue is the one that gave us the Judas Iscariot possible origin, and they showed some early ties with that he earns those necklace around his neck, or the reminiscent of 30 pieces of silver, and where he got the Spectre to take Corrigan as a host. I think they had a story there where one of the pieces of silver was redeemed from him for that great feat to get that to happen, to bind them together, or to help that, help encourage that to happen. I just thought it was a very inventive series. Gosh, there were some really cool Jay Lee covers in there for a while, but again, this is what Jamie, who didn't know much about the Phantom Stranger, he picked those books up, and I'm pretty sure it's safe to say you love the character, right, Jamie?
Oh yeah. Now I'm all in. Yep. No pun intended with DC.
Yep, absolutely. So he's getting, and you have the whole New 52 run, right?
For Phantom Stranger, yeah.
Yeah. So I know now Jamie's working on the volume 2 there, which is the next one, the 42 issue run there. 42 was the Blackest Night tie-in, and it was just a really, it was again, I think it's really inventive that they, as part of the the Dead Lanterns, that they resurrected Dead series and had a final issue, and so it was really neat. You had the Phantom Stranger with a lot of the DC magical characters, and there was a great Dead Man storyline with that, where he had to go to where Dead Man was at Namba Pardat, I guess is where he hangs out at sometimes, where Dead Man can be safe behind these walls from what the Black Lanterns were doing to him, or trying to do to him, and they brought his body back. It's just a really cool tie-in story. And then I just loved Justice League of America 103, volume 1, and that's where he appears in the Justice League satellite and tells the League that they are needed in Rutland, Vermont. And as a kid, I read this, and I was fascinated with Rutland, Vermont. And they had a guy named Tom Fagan that would have a superhero-themed parade that he had started that would go through town. And it was so cool that DC and Marvel Comics writers and artists were going to Rutland to attend this epic party that this guy threw. And that went on for years. And I always wanted to go to Rutland, Vermont for that. And I remember I went to Rutland a few years ago. And of course, I think Tom Fagan had passed away and all. And I didn't go on Halloween, so I don't know if the parade was still going on. But it was just kind of neat to go through there. And it's also part of this issue is also part of the first DC and Marvel crossover. It was very unofficial, started with Amazing Adventures 16, I believe, continued into Justice League of America 103, and then finished up in an issue of Thor. I can't remember the number right offhand, but maybe 230. No, yeah, maybe 237. Well, anyway, Len Wein was writing Justice League of America. Steve Englehart was writing The Amazing Adventures, and that's where the Beast, this is where the Beast was recently transformed into the blue furry guy. And then Jerry Conway was writing the Thor issue. So the three of them, those writers, appeared in the story, as well as Len Wein's wife at the time, Glennis. So all four of them were characters in all three stories. So it was really cool. And when they showed representations of the Rutland parade in the Justice League, you see Spider-Man and Thor on a float, and Captain America. and in the Marvel books, you see, the DC heroes. So it was the first unofficial crossover between DC and Marvel. So you also get that, and then of course Phantom Stranger does what he's supposed to do, saves the League, and they even offer him membership. So I just think it's a great one-off story to read, where the Phantom Stranger strutting his stuff, and the Justice League, and being cryptic as hell. The Justice League don't all appreciate it, but he saves the day. So there you go, and it's part of comic history with that unofficial crossover.
Mm-hmm.
Right, very cool, very cool. Oh, I forgot to show Dan's stories, but we'll show Dan's stories at the end. Jamie, we'll see your recommended readings now.
All right. So I got, as Uncle Gary said, Phantom Stranger from 1987. Let me just bring up my little note here. This is one of those ones that's like a hidden gem that you don't want to miss. It's mystical and deeply rooted in the Stranger's cryptic role in the DC universe. The art, it's early Magnolia, the Hellboy artist.
Magnolia,
yeah,
Magnolia. Yep.
It's always everyone pronounces it differently, but so it has that gothic shadow heavy tone that just fits perfect to me. Like when I think of Phantom Stranger, that's kind of where I lean towards. It really does lean more towards the idea of Stranger isn't your typical hero. He's more of a supernatural referee in a cosmic chess match, which we've talked about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Next up, obviously one of my favorites, Phantom Stranger, New 52. Obviously 0 through 22. And I didn't realize till I actually, bought the books that it was both Dan DiDio and DeMatteis doing it. The series finally gives Stranger an origin tied to biblical tone, which I think is cool because you get different iterations throughout each series he's a part of. But this one really landed for me. Builds him into a deeper, more conflicted character while keeping that mystic lore intact. The run crosses paths with the Trinity of Sin and taps into DC's darker corner like Justice League Dark. If you want Stranger in the middle of something epic with supernatural stakes, this is where I would go towards. And then lastly, Gary talked about it earlier, it's Showcase 80, The Hunt of Stranger. This is Phantom Stranger's big comeback story years after being in limbo, and it redefined his tone. It's more moody. It's got that Silver Age storytelling and eerie vibes. The issue is the blueprint for what he'd become moving forward. It introduces Dr. 13, the skeptic investigator who constantly challenges Stranger, making for a classic logic versus mysticism rivalry.
Okay. Very cool.
Very nice.
Right. Let's jump to my stories then. There we are. All right. So that first one, let's start off that first one. Spawn of Frankenstein crossover.
Wow.
This one was good. This is by Len Wein and Chip Aparo, and it's like Gothic horror meets superhero mysticism. I love it. It is Len Wein's. God, I can't talk tonight. Len Wein's writing in this was amazing. I love this story. So it follows the arc where Victor Adams he resurrects Frankenstein's monster to wreak havoc. Use him for world domination type of situation. The Phantom Stranger appears when of course, Frankenstein's monster's wreaking havoc, but he can't really do anything with him because Frankenstein's monster is innocent in this whole situation. He's not a villain, but he's also a tortured soul. And so he's trying to offer compassion instead of condemnation to Frankenstein's monster. And Adam's obsession with playing God is the real evil in this storyline. So Len Wein balances horror with heart, I think, in this story. And Jim Aparo's art, unreal. It's unreal. You got to see that. It's got moody shadows, it's got crumbling castles, fog-filled graveyards, which I love the best, and everything dynamic, every dynamic pose that elevates every scene. I love it. It's great. So issues of 23 to 26, that came out. That's a great story to read.
And you are spot on about Aparo, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. So the next one up is Secret Origins number 10. This is one that I think is a must-read Stranger comic because it's not for giving on a clear origin, but embracing the mystery and offering completely different, conflicting stories.
Mhm.
So it's not
Yep.
that it keeps strangers enigma intact while giving the readers a glimpse of the possibilities. Which was great, I thought. And one of the quotes I pulled out of that is, what's that say, Joe?
Is a stranger really Judas Iscariot? That is one possible
possibility.
origin.
That's the latest one, I should say, right?
Right. That was in the New 52 in issue 0. I kind of like that, but like we said with this character, you can choose your own origin. Some he's a fallen angel,
Yep.
some he's so there's a whole lot of and we're what Sal was saying right now. The Secret Origins 10 gave you 4 different origins to choose from.
Yeah, it gave you 4 different possibilities.
Pick your adventure.
Hey, pick your adventure, baby.
I picked Judas. I think that's great.
Yeah, I like that, and I also like the Fallen Angel one too.
Yeah, me too.
So the one of the quotes I pulled out of this Secret Origins was, "He is a stranger and will always remain so." So I mean that speaks terms of me for a lot. The writer on this was Mike Barr, and of course the artist Jim Aparo.
You can't borrow goodiness.
You can't go. You can see a little theme. Who's going to be my favorite artist coming up?
Yeah, I think everybody should have that one.
Yep.
Right. So this is the 4 stories like we were talking about. One was the Fallen Angel, one was the Wandering Jew, one is the Time Traveler, and the other one is the Betrayal, which is the Judas Iscariot story as well. And that particular story was written by Alan Moore, and the artist in that particular section was Joe Orlando. So all 4 stories are awesome, and I have to read it. It rather than resolve the mystery, it leans into it, which is just amazing for me. It elevates the Phantom Stranger from just a magical hero to the mythic archetype, possibly divine, cosmic, or damned. You never know. So each origin reflects a different genre, which I like, So, and then of course, like we said, readers are invited to choose what they believe and what not to believe. You can believe them all or believe none. Doesn't matter.
There you go.
All right, for the last one, Phantom Stranger number 14. This was a good standout Bronze Age issue. It showcases everything that makes the Phantom Stranger a compelling, enigmatic character. It begins with a young named Jimmy who's just escaped from prison. He's seeking shelter with a friend, but suspicion and fear begin to spread through the community as the tensions rise. A vigilante mob forms, and it's driven by panic and distrust. So this is where he enters, and the Phantom Stranger shows up now. And this issue is not really about the boys' guilt or innocence. It's about the mob mentality that overtakes the townspeople. The Stranger appeals at key moments, confronting individuals and challenging their morality, not just their actions. So that's what I liked about this one. And of course, Dr. 13 is always in there. He's the eternal skeptic and foil to the Stranger, and insists that there's no such thing as mysticism. He's in there, but it adds to the story. So one of the key moments I have in here. So the Stranger's facing off the mob, and he asks him a really powerful question: "Are you truly seeking justice or vengeance?" And that is that's a powerful statement right there. So the issue ends not with a typical hero's victory, but like a sobering ambiguity. Justice is served, but not everyone is redeemed. All right. So moving on to the art, Jim Aparo. His art top form: heavy shadows, expressive faces, tense crowd scenes. The Stranger's depicted with like a biblical glow to him. Mob scenes are really good here. So you can't go wrong with Jim Aparo art. Never can go wrong with Jim Aparo art. So those are the 3 I recommend. Let's go ahead and show off Dan's stories here. So he went with Volume 2 of Phantom Stranger, Secret Origins 10, which I just went over, and Phantom Stranger Volume 4.
All right. Well, he did the whole volume of 2 and the whole of 4.
I know. He's pulling an Archduke on us there.
Yeah.
Just read everything.
Yeah. This is 120 issues. Read them all.
Read them all. I think one of these times it's going to be a big card that says, whatever the character is, and it's have read all of them as a story. All right, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and jump to our next segment then, which is best writest, best arter. God,
Best rightist and best arter.
Best and brightest and worst artist.
Slab
the slab guy talking. Take
Sal
two.
the slab, yeah. Slab the Sal guy.
Slab the Sal god.
I'm tired,
Can't
ladies
do
and
that.
gentlemen. I'm tired, ladies and
Best
gentlemen.
rightist and best arter.
Best writer and best artist.
Sal, that
Gary,
was great.
Gary, you're going first. I'm going to go last on this one. I'm going to drink some adult beverage here and let you guys talk.
No wonder you can't get your words right.
So is your best artist going to be Jim a Parween? Look, there he is. He lost it.
Maybe.
Oh,
you never know.
maybe.
Stick around and find out.
Stick around and find out.
Maybe Aim Japaro.
So I've really enjoyed going through this omnibus, and I'm glad I had the extra time right off to do it, and I will finish it. I'm halfway through that 1,200-page book, and I'll get them all. I'm really struck by how great the writing got after Len Wein took over, and how this character was really fleshed out, and
100%.
And Wein was at the top of his form here, because he's doing Phantom Stranger, and about a year later he's going to be writing Swamp Thing too. And those first 10 issues of Swamp Thing were just amazing. So Len Wein, top of his game, and he's writing JLA at the time too. So Len Wein is my writer. And I mean, listen, guys, I know we have a lot of opinions here. We're all different people, but let me tell you right now that Jim Aparo is the correct answer.
Yes.
So for artists, there's just nobody else. The look of the character, the shadow, the mood, like Sal said, even the crowd scenes are amazing. The tension he draws, the drama he draws, the characters are very feminine and very masculine, depending on who he's drawing. There's just a power to them. They really leap off the page at you.
Yes.
In these scenes. So yeah, Jim Aparo's them. And what I think is kind of cool is you guys, I don't know how well versed you were in to Aparo before I started dropping that
Zero.
So
now Aparo is like one of my top 5.
Yeah, I think I get so much. I feel so good about the fact that I've been able to spread that gospel, and that you guys are disciples on it, that you love this guy. So that just makes me feel great that you're giving this fellow who's, he passed away in 2005, and I think it was 20 years ago. His 20th anniversary of his passing was in the past week or so. But the fact that y'all are giving him this love makes me feel so great. So anyway, that's assuming you pick Aparo. I think you should, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see. We got to wait and see, because Jamie is up next.
Oh yeah, no, it's Aparo. But for my writer, I got DeMatteis.
Good choice. Good choice.
I absolutely love that run.
Yes, that was good.
I'm not gonna say it's not. It is very, very good. Again, my appreciation for Wein is taking this character to a level he was not at.
Yes. I mean, also the fact that he wrote everything you loved. So.
Yep. All right. For my choices, ladies and gentlemen, of course, it's Jim Aparo. Oh, of course, I had to go with that. Len Wein is also my writer. So I just had to echo what Gary said with that. It was just amazing what he's done. We always talk, back to Aparo. We always talk, we joke in the beginning of our show about the socials and how much we're dripping with them. His artwork is like dripping with emotion.
Yes.
That's how I feel his artwork is. And yes, I knew nothing of Aparo until, Uncle Gary started turning around. Hey, look at this Aparo cover. Look at this Aparo. Look at this. Look at this. And then all of a sudden now I started popping up. I think I've got a Batman issue. It's like 444 where he did the cover. I have that slab because that's the amazing Aparo cover.
Yeah.
And his interiors are just as great too.
Yeah, they are. Yes.
Like if it wasn't for Uncle Gary basically pointing out with Aparo, like look at the jawline, look at the fist.
Yeah.
If he would have never said that, I can't walk into a comic shop and not pick it out. But now every time I walk in, I'm like Aparo cover, Aparo cover, Aparo cover.
That's the Aparo cover. Makes me sound smart when I go like to a con or something like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, I like that Aparo cover there. They're like, oh yeah.
And they're like, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Listen, y'all had plenty of comic knowledge. I just pushed it into the history a little further back.
Oh, when it comes to art,
Gary's always pushing something.
That's right.
There's always a few that I can pick out of a bunch. But when Gary says there, it goes like, okay, if you look at this detail or this detail from this person to this person, it shoots to me better than anything else. And I can look for those distinct things and be like, oh yeah, I know that's a Adams cover. I know that's, a Wrightson cover.
And you know what? Y'all are right. When you do go to a con and you can pull, say that's, it does, the old heads will go, yeah, they know what they're talking about.
Okay, let's do business.
That's a Kubert. Yeah, that's an Aparo. That's a Wrightson. That's an Adams. Yep. Yeah. It does. It definitely gives you
or a Nick Cardy cover.
Or Nick Cardy. There you go, brother. That's another great. But I mean, y'all already had cred, but it just does. It's just as enhanced. Where you were, more the modern. More from the '80s on.
Right.
It's nice to push you back a little bit further and get you on board with some of these other greats that were just a little bit ahead of your time.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that wraps up this episode. Thank you very much, guys. You guys had some great stories, great covers, and great badass moments. So
great character.
So yeah, great character. This was Jamie. This was your pick, wasn't it?
Yep.
Appreciate that, buddy. That was great. Everybody that was in the chat tonight, thank you so much for joining in. We appreciate your comments as always. Give us that like, give us that share, and subscribe. Push this content out to other people. We want to spread the news because we like talking comics, so we want to get that out to everybody. All right, so let's go ahead and sign off. I am your host, Sal the Slab Guy. Tonight, I'm always joined by my partners in crime, the Ric Flair of comics, right there, and of course the high evolution himself, J Dub. Who's also Dan Kelly. For tonight. There we go. For tonight. There we go.
Where did Jamie go?
Where did Jamie go? There he is. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate that. He says another great show. Thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in. Everybody that does, we appreciate your feedback and knowing that y'all are out there.
And next week's character is not Ambush Bug.
It's Batmite.
It's not Batmite either. We are going to be covering Forge.
That's right.
Oh, okay. God.
And then we don't have a character picked out 2 weeks from now. I believe, Gary, that's your choice. So be thinking on that, Gary. All right, folks, we will see you next week. And as always, catch us on Saturday night for Comics Unleashed as well. Take care, folks, and we'll see you soon. Richard says hi, Dan.
Dan, we missed you, buddy. Hope you're enjoying your cruise.
Sup?
Yep, he is.
He is. All right, the boat come in.
Yep.